What it do, YouTube? Y'all already know. It's your favorite YouTuber, Stank815, and I'm back in the building. Y'all new to that channel, man, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share, comment. Get notified when I drop these videos. Even if you're not new to that video, man, make sure y'all hit that like button, man, and help out a lot. Please, yeah, it help out a lot. But look, we back with another video, man. Cat Williams keep dropping bombs on Steve Harvey, man. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, like I told y'all before, I am not a Steve Harvey fan. I'm Team Cat Williams. I don't care who get mad about it. Yeah, I'm Team Cat Williams, you know. I rock with Cat Williams. Yeah, so that's just how it is. Shout out to Cat Williams, you know. Team Cat Williams over here. If y'all Team Cat Williams, hit that like button. If y'all team, you know, the other dude, Steve Harvey, hit the thumbs down. It don't matter. But if y'all rolling with me, Team Cat Williams, y'all know I'm going to keep dropping these bangers for y'all, but all my videos be separate. You know, I like to follow up on different people, but y'all know it's Stank815 in the building. Shout out to the 32 gang, you know. Shout out to my bro, Sugar Man, on that. Yeah, but yeah, man, let's get into this video. Let's see what it got to talk about. Let's get it.
With Steve Harvey, ex-bodyguard. And his name is Mr. Booms, Big Booms. And he came and gave Marjorie Harvey.
Yup, that's right. There seems to be trouble in the Harvey paradise. And here's what Cat Williams had to say about that.
When I got a woman, I really tried hard. You know, I think short guys make better lovers just because once we get on, we don't want to get off.
And this wasn't even the first time he'd thrown jabs at Harvey.
You have been the king of comedy as long as we've had one. The second that you get on stage, I need you to understand that that's your final time as the king of comedy.
Seems like he might have spooked Harvey, because here's his rebuttal.
Somebody works for me on my Twitter was talking about name a comedian you don't think is funny. Why would I do something like that?
We've always known Cat Williams to be a bit of a troublemaker, but the comedian just took things to new heights recently after he seemingly turned Steve Harvey's pain into one of his jokes. The comedian, who has allegedly been at odds with Harvey for a while now, reportedly decided to use the news about the alleged troubles in the Harvey household as a punchline. Maybe a few years back, this might have been something we all laugh about, but considering things have changed, with the likes of Will Smith smacking Chris Rock live on stage for a joke about his wife, Harvey may also not handle this too well. What makes the difference between both of their situations, however, is the fact that there has actually been a long-standing feud between Williams and Harvey. The big question now is if Steve Harvey will take this as a fair hit or a low blow. Well, you guess is as good as mine. Let's dive into the details.
I done heard all of the YouTubes and I done heard all the interviews and all like that. But that ain't got nothing to do with me.
While Steve Harvey has positioned himself to become one of the most powerful names in Hollywood, with a successful TV show amongst other strides, the celebrity host has also been repeatedly caught up in scandal after scandal over the years. However, his run-in with Cat Williams has proven to be one of the most publicized events in his entire career. Williams, who is also a king in his own right, being a successful comedian and actor with several credits to his name, is also known to be a bit of a hothead in the industry. This is why it comes as no surprise that the comedian would try to clown Steve Harvey on his pain, but it seems he might have taken things a little too far for Harvey to handle.
So this is a little beef thing that everybody wanna start, cause you wanna make a name for yourself. That's cool, do you?
I mean, it's one thing to not like somebody close to your line of work, but it's an entirely different story when you hit them where it hurts. And that seems to have been the case with the pair, as Williams seems to have weaponized the news that recently came out of Steve's camp. Just days ago, Steve Harvey was a hot topic on Twitter for two reasons. First, he asked fans to name a comedian who doesn't make them laugh in a tweet. He explained that it was a move by his social media manager to engage engage with the audience, but he fired the person responsible for the tweet. On a different note, several reports came out pointing to the fact that there might be problems in Steve and Marjorie's marriage. According to the report, Steve's wife, Marjorie Elaine Harvey, was allegedly caught being unfaithful with Steve's bodyguard and personal chef, William Big Boom Freeman.
Who is Marjorie cheating with? Allegedly. The bodyguard. Guess what his name is, man? Big.
Additionally, it was also reported that she might have allegedly filed for divorce and was seeking a $200 million settlement. These details about Steve's marriage started spreading on social media, and people have been commenting on various platforms about it. For many, it was the shock of someone like Steve, who they believed knew everything about how a relationship should work, getting cheated on. For many others, it was an opportunity to throw jabs at the TV host. That was the case with this user, who wrote, "Careful apt who you bring into your circle. When you get bitten in your clothes, there's an insect right in there and not far from your dress." Bodyguard took Steve Harvey by surprise. Moving forward, men should be taught how to provide bodyguard services, be a chef in their homes. Suffice it to say, Cat Williams wasn't the only person who thought Steve's predicament could serve as a good laugh. However, this isn't the first time the comedian has seemingly put Steve in the hot seat. It all started in 2008, when the pair started to throw jabs at each other in the press about who they thought was the better comedian.
Steve Harvey should have never did that. He should have just did the show and not called it a battle and all that, because it's hard for you to step in a ring that you're not used to.
That back and forth, according to reports at the time, was connected to an upcoming New Year's Eve show that the pair were both slated to make appearances at.
Cat Williams has called out Steve Harvey, right? But in Detroit, they will meet each other like too tight.
At the time, Williams even issued a public challenge to Steve Harvey, claiming that he would take Harvey's King of Comedy crown at an upcoming New Year's Eve performance that the two comics co-headlined. It became such a big deal that other stars had to get involved.
It was almost like you had to choose sides. Who was you, or you're on Team Steve or Team Cat.
Days before the performance, Steve Harvey spoke to Jamie Foxx on Fox's satellite radio show, telling Fox that he planned to take the high road and ignore Williams' threat. However, wearing a boxer's robe, Williams came out swinging at Harvey with shots against the comedian's performance, reputation, and even his clothes and hair during the final half of the show.
"Please give it up for Steve Harvey. He's one of the best we've ever had," Williams told the crowd. "But he don't want no parts of this in no shape or form. I don't know why he came out here with all this money y'all spent on these motherfucking tickets and talked about a lady in the audience for 15 minutes, but won't talk about me the way I getting ready to talk about his bitch." You see, he had to take off that lace front high top fade to come out here with me. I'm a little nigga. We fight dirty. Let's just say Williams absolutely destroyed Steve.
Cat made a concert out of just verbally abusing Steve Harvey.
He accused Harvey of copying his clothes and poked fun at Harvey's routine. He think he the shot because he was the shot in 1968, Williams said. "Nigga, I'm the shot this evening." Williams also told the crowd that he and Harvey were co-headlining because Harvey couldn't sell enough tickets by himself, and that he was being disrespectful to other comedians before him and Richard Pryor in particular by calling himself a king of comedy. Now, while Harvey did not directly say much about Williams' New Year's Eve performance, he made sure to pass a message to the comic about the whole thing they had going on, implying that he and Williams weren't on the same level. "My grandfather used to tell me that dogs don't bark at parked cars and only cars that are moving," Harvey said. He also said that dogs bark at the moon all of the time, but if the moon barks back, the dog becomes famous.
Dogs don't bark in parked cars. They only bark at a car that's moving.
But there's even more to this story. See, about 2 decades ago, Steve Harvey, along with 3 other comedians, D.L. Hewley, Cedric the Entertainer, and Bernie Mac, became comedy legends in the 2000s. They went on a comedy tour called the Original Kings of Comedy. This show didn't just make a lot of money. It also played a big role in shaping modern comedy shows. However, Cat Williams isn't one of their biggest fans. While already having an ongoing feud with Harvey, it seems Williams' most recent alleged attack against Harvey might have been because one of Harvey's old pals poked the hornet's nest. During the Kings of Comedy show, Cedric closed out his routine with a joke about having to park a large spaceship Cadillac. In an interview with The Morning Hustle, Williams revealed that the joke was originally his, and he was crushed when he saw Cedric perform it on the big screen. Well, when it initially happened to me, it crushed me just because the comedian was already bigger and more famous than me, and he took my closing joke and made it his closing joke on Kings of Comedy, said Williams. The reason it hit so bad was that I was in the theater. I paid my money to go see Kings of Comedy, and to see my joke being there and not me was about as disrespectful as it gets in our craft, and I took it really personally with Cedric the Entertainer at that time. Seems this might have played a role in Williams seemingly picking a bone with Harvey all this time, and it makes sense considering Steve is the only one from the group he was ever paired to perform with. Nonetheless, that's not all Williams had to say about what happened. Now, since then, I've done enough work with 10 comedy specials. You either have to write your own jokes or you're telling a variation of my joke, whether you acknowledge it or not. Cat Williams added that as artists, you're either originally creating or you are borrowing bits and pieces. When asked if he ever confronted Cedric about the incident, Williams said he hadn't addressed it. I'm not that type of comedian. I'm going in your mouth where the joke is when you steal my jokes, and I have a reputation in this industry that if you steal my joke, you're going to be missing a tooth or two. I don't play like that. And he truly wasn't playing around. It just seems like Harvey was the one that had to take the verbal beatdown in Cedric's place. Even fans agree that Williams actually did make an example out of Steve Harvey with his verbal attacks, and even calling him out for a battle for the crown. This is all many people have been talking about on social media. One fan that seems to believe this wrote, "I'll never forget how Cat Williams ran Steve Harvey out of Stand Up for Good. I will always be grateful for that. Looks like living down the KO from Cat might take a lot more than Steve Harvey could have ever thought, because if the man is still bitter, this might only be the beginning of a torrent of attacks from Williams. And whether he says more about it or not, we'll be right here to give you the tea."